everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Michela, the Dorky Reader, and today's video is my September reading wrap-up, where I get to go over all the books I read and didn't read in the month of September. When I started my journey as a booktuber, I promised everyone I'd keep everyone up to date on my weight loss journey. Unfortunately, the last couple months, I haven't really lost any weight. I definitely haven't gained any though, and so I'm counting that as a win. I've been going to the gym more, so perhaps I'm gaining more muscle, and even if it's not from muscle weight, like I said, I'm not going back up to where I used to be, and I'm kind of staying steady. So, with a little more effort put in by me, hopefully by next month I'll be able to report back with another little loss, which will make me feel really good. Okay, on to all the books I did or didn't read in September. So, the first book on the list here is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. I did not read The Raven Scholar. In fact, I only read 3 books this month, which is like the lowest book score I've had all year long. Again, I knew this was coming because for me, August and September are the worst months for reading for me. Notoriously, historically. It's all because of the school season starting back up, getting back into the routine of things with my kids, and just usually I'm pretty miserable in those months because I'm so hot and I just don't want to even think about anything. But anyway, we went camping last weekend. Things get crazy. I went on vacation at one point. So yeah, 3 books only. And this wasn't one of them, and I'm so bummed. This is one of my most exciting books of the year that I want to read. I really, really want to read this. But I didn't last month, and I'm not surprised. Also, The Jessad Heir, I didn't read this, and I feel like this book screams me. I really want to read this one. I've been told it's very similar to Swordcatcher, that kind of vibe with, if you like Swordcatcher, you'll like The Jessad Heir. So I'm just gonna have to put you aside and hope for November poll or something. Okay, next I have The Butcher of the Forest by Primi Mohammed. I did read this one. This book feels so atmospheric, so dark. It's the story of a woman who, when she was younger, went through these woods, these magical, evil woods that everyone who's ever gone in has been trapped there forever, except her. She did escape the woods one time. This evil tyrant that rules her land, her village, whatever, his children have gone missing in this forest, and he forces her to go back into the forest to retrieve them for him, under threat of killing her family and burning down her village. So into the forest she goes, and it's a short book, but it's very atmospheric and creepy, and it has that kind of, when the Fae are kind of really evil and tricky, that's what this book gives. So if you are looking for a perfect book to read in October, because honestly, this book gave October vibes, then choose this one. It was actually really great. I gave it 4 stars. Okay, next I had Hio the Hellmaker by Mina Ikemoto Ghosh. I did not read this book, and I'm really bummed because I feel like I would have had such a good time with this one. It sounds like it's going to be action-packed, and it's going to have sword fighting samurai vibes and cool, I don't know. I just feel like this one would have been really cool to read, and I'm really mad at myself for not choosing it. But I'm not that mad, and I'll tell you why. Because in the month of September, I may have only read 3 books, but 2 of those books were literally 2 of the very best books I've read all year long. So it was a really great win in that way. Okay, one of those books I'll get to is The Devils by Jo Abercrombie. I did finally read The Devils. I'm so glad I did. This book is so wild. It's hilarious. If you're into kind of gory religious horror / comedy, there's some darkness in this book, but it's sugar coated with some funniness. The characters, of course, Jo Abercrombie's specialty are perfection. I just love them all. There's a horny werewolf. There's a vampire who could give a, beep. And there's this priest who didn't really want to be a priest but is stuck kind of running this group of people. There's this girl who discovers she was a princess, but she's really just this kind of street rat thief who swears like a sailor. And then there's this invisible elf who's kind of like emo. And I don't know, there's so many wonderful, and my favorite character is this really arrogant sorcerer or magician, and he's just so like full of himself. I absolutely adore him. And there's this woman who's done everything, and she's kind of like a pirate, but not a pirate. I don't know how to describe her. She's just a jack of all trades. And anyway, their mission is to take this found princess and return her to her throne so that she can take over rule over her kingdom instead of her cousins who want to kill her for this power. So there's lots of stuff happening, and lots of battle scenes, which he wrote really great battle scenes in this book too. I will say, for Joe Abercrombie, I will still always prefer First Law Trilogy. That was perfection. This did have a little bit of something in it that wasn't quite as elevated for me personally. That said, I still really, really, really love this book. Like I said, probably my second favorite book I read all year. It was a great story. I'm wondering if it'll be continued or if this is all we get from this world. I'm not sure. Okay, so there's The Devils. And then the next book on my list here is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I wanted to read this book because it's the Book of the Month book, and I should have chosen it, but I didn't. And I do feel like this book would be great to read this month, but I've got such a great list right now that I'm not going to change anything. But doesn't this feel like October? I should have pulled this for October. Anyway, another book I have here is Dreadful, Caitlin Rozaki's, and I have had this on my TBR multiple times and never read it. And so I feel really bad. I want to read this book. I really do. Why don't I ever grab it first? I don't know. But here it is, the best book I read in September, probably all year long, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I absolutely loved this book. It is so beautiful. It is really touching and sweet. It really has some, interesting, thrilling moments. There were parts of this book where I was laughing out loud, parts of this book where I cried, parts of this book where I was really just at the edge of my seat, like, oh my God, and it was just so well done. It was such a great book. I will say that it is very sciencey, so he goes on, and it's probably the most realistic science fiction I've ever read, because they describe so much of the science, you feel like it's kind of believable. Okay, it's not, but it kind of is. So, that gives it a little bit of elevation in some ways, but I can see how some people reading this might be like, okay, it's a lot of science, so let's get back to the story. But I just love this book. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Very beautiful book. Highly, highly recommend. And the last book on my TBR from September, I didn't read in September, but I am currently reading now in October, and that is Winter by Marissa Meyer. This is book 4 of the Lunar Chronicles. Spoiler alert, this will be the first book I have read for my October reading wrap up, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you then. Yeah, it's an 800. My cat just did a speed zoomy. But anyway, it's 800 and is it 37 or 27? Something. It's 823, okay, not 27. 823 page book, which is kind of chunky. It doesn't look like it would be that much, but I guess the pages are kind of thin. Luckily it's YA, so it's not taking that long, but it does feel you can, as you're reading it, you're like, all right, I've been reading a while, here I am. I'm only this far in, but I'm excited about it. It's good. It's good. Okay, anyway, I hope you guys had a great September. I hope that if you had a slow reading month, at least you found one or two really great titles of your own. If you read amazing, you did like 12 books or something, feel free to comment below. Tell me your favorite book you read in September, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next month.